I turn to prayer. And I turn to studying and free books and prayer. Again, fighting isn't going to accomplish anything. It didn't accomplish anything. It didn't accomplish anything. It didn't accomplish anything. It was fun playing Halo. I was old enough to know. Watching it go down, I just went out there and I prayed for everyone mostly. I would go out there with Sage and I would go out there with protective gear. I would take you guys mutual aid and I would take you guys protective gear for the mace. I would teach you guys how to get it out of your eyes fast. I've been protesting for, I'm 37, for 20 years. When I saw the feds going after you guys, I was like, fuck, I had a kid in a penthouse. And then I had you kids on the streets. I saw the fire in you guys, and I knew the fire in my kid. It was not a safe place to be, but I knew the footage I had to catch. And I had to protect you guys on the ground, and I had to protect my kid in a cabin in the sky. And I was reading online what was about to go down, and then I was seeing on the ground what was going down. After contemplating, watching all my footage from the last 3 years, having listened to Pharaoh's predictions, watching Tom McDonald, listening to Tom McDonald's albums, watching my footage, knowing what Pharaoh said, knowing what Tom McDonald said, watching now, knowing where we are now, knowing the civil war that can go down now, but knowing where we are now and where we can go now, knowing that Tina Kotek is in office, where we can go now.
My challenge to everything. There are two forks in the road. Being good isn't easy. It isn't fun. But it can be. Being a good person can be fun. I love being a good person. Kindness, compassion, family, board games, kicking it, food, Ninja Turtle songs, video games, all that shit can be fun. God can be awesome. We can take it to prayer, we can turn to God, and we can make this world a better place. Where you guys can keep playing into the devil, and you guys can keep summoning the devil, and you guys can keep playing into Revelations, and we can see this place turn bad real quick, and the devil can dance with us. The Bible is written as the Bible is written. I know where I'm going.
Bad real quick, and the devil can dance with us.
The Bible is written as the Bible is written. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I've got peace of mind. Unpacking my apartment is fucking exhausting. I'm listening to Token and a bunch of dope ass music. I make a playlist. I'm packing my apartment. I'll challenge everyone to fucking turn off your fucking technology and read some books. There's some really awesome ones. I wish I had more time to read. If you can't read, listen to Token. His music is twisted. Also listen to Tom McDonald. I'm so surprised how many times I play Tom McDonald in my cars and people are like, who the hell is this? It's good. And I'm like, Tom McDonald. Yeah, he's great. His music is like, you listen to it and you're like, whoa, this is not Illuminati music. You're like, no, it's not. No, it's not. There's music that you put on, you know, like Drake, Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, unfortunately, that you put on and you're like, oh yeah, thought music. You're like, rah, 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 rah. It just sounds like minions singing it. You're like, rah, rah. And you're like, it doesn't do anything for your soul. And then there's music you put on and you're like, it's just like truth bomb for 4 minutes, and you're like, and you listen to a song and you're like, I gotta journal, I gotta paint, I gotta eat food. You gotta do real shit after you listen to a track like that. That's like all of Tom McDonald's music. You're like, that's all of Token's music. That's the only music I listen to. Snotty Nose Res Kids, like you listen to them and you're like, you don't want to eat GMO food. You don't want to do bad shit. You just want to be a real person. It's the only type of music I listen to. All the shit you post online, like, be a better person. Don't, you know, like, you listen to Tupac, you post him, you have him in your house, but then, like, I don't know, you listen to, like, trap music, and you listen to these other people, and then you, like, then you do a bunch of drugs, then you hang out with people who do drugs, and then, like, you're doing shit that's, like, not edifying your soul. Then you don't go to church, then you don't read the Bible, then you don't hang out. Like, you do shit that doesn't, like, edify your soul, and then, like, you're, like, sinning nonstop, and then you're like, I haven't walked with the Lord in 10 years. Why am I not going to heaven? And it's like, well, you don't pay your taxes. You don't. You have how many kids? How many fathers? How long have you been doing drugs? Also, I've been in the program for 10 years, and I sponsor people. I'm not judging anyone. Like, you want those rewards from God? You want those rewards? Walk with God. God will give you all of your blessings, but you have to be a good person. You want those rewards from God? You want those rewards? Walk with God. God will give you all of your blessings, but you have to be a good person, and you have to be willing to receive them. If, you know, a poor person's like, hey, do you have a quarter? Do you have a buck? You're like, yeah, hey, here you go. That's all I have, but it's yours. You know, if I see, like, someone who's, like, really down and out, and I'm like, okay, hey, what do you need? And they're like, you know, cigarettes or $1 or, usually I have crap on me. I'll be like, hey, you want these shoes? You want this jacket? You want this lighter? You want this notebook? You want something? More often than not, they just want someone to talk to you. Oh, I always carry a pack of cigarettes on me. I'll give them some cigarettes. I'll be like, hey, what's going on? You know, oh, your boyfriend left you? Oh, you're struggling? Oh, you're in these streets? Why are you in these streets? Oh, man, your boyfriend is a psychopath? Oh, man, your girlfriend? Oh, she beat you up? Oh, man, that sucks. Oh, yeah, well, oh, yeah, I'll give them the time of day, usually how long it takes to smoke a cigarette. By the end of it, I'm like, they have a rough life, and I'm like, man, that's rough. We'll get to a meeting. Oh, there's over here. Oh, there's meetings right there. Oh, man, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Kim sounds like a bitch. And then they felt heard. They know I'm a nice person that cares. And I'm like, well, by the end of it, I'm like, I'm Justin James. If you ever see me around, say hi. I'll say hi back. Someone cares about you in the city. If they're black, I'm always going to let them know, you know, like, Black Lives Matter. You matter. Here, and then by the end of it, I'm usually like, here's another cigarette. Here's 2 more. You know, like, also, by the end of that, I usually find, like, $5 on me or have something else. And I'm like, oh, yeah, and here's sometimes I'll have a book on me. Sometimes I'll have a hoodie on me. I'm just like, hey, you matter. Also, I'll have chargers on me. I'll have something else on me that I can be like, hey, here's charger, here's food, here's something else. You want this? And they'll be like, you're gonna give all this to me? And I'm like, yeah, I don't need it. I've got so much crap in my house. And then you know how God rewards me? People just give me random people give me shit. And then I'll just be at a bar. And then it will be like the universe Santa Claus. And And then some awesome dude from fucking San Antonio, some fucking random guy from Australia will be like, hey, you've been real cool tonight. You want to walk with me in my Mercedes? And I'm like, yeah, I know how this works. And then they'll be like, here's open my trunk. And I'm like, all right. And then they'll be like, you want that backpack? And I'm like, yeah, what's in it? And they're like, just random crap. And I'm like, all right. And then I get home and it's like, laptop. And it'll be like a new laptop and shoes and then just like, real cool tonight. You want to walk with me in my Mercedes? And I'm like, yeah, I know how this works. And then they'll be like, here's open my trunk. And I'm like, all right. And then they'll be like, you want that backpack? And I'm like, yeah, what's in it? And they're like, just random crap. And I'm like, all right. And then I get home and it's like, laptop. And it'll be like a new laptop and shoes and then just like money. Whatever. Sometimes it'll just be books. Sometimes it'll be random crap. Sometimes it'll be awesome foods. I never know what the universe is going to give me. Sometimes it's just, it doesn't matter. The fact is, when you give, the universe gives. The fact is, sometimes people just put money on my Cash App. The fact is, sometimes I don't get anything back at all. Sometimes I just give and give and give, and I'm like, universe, you're never going to give me anything back, are you? And sometimes that's the way it be. And sometimes I'm down to nothing, and I'm like, and I feel really beat up. And that's when I like really turn to God and I'm in tears and I'm like, your scorpion is shriveling. And I'm like dehydrated and I'm like, why God, why? Your faithful servant. And I turn into Job at that point and I'm like, why have you forsaken me? And I'm like, Romeo. I am Romeo. I'm not like saying wherefore art thou Romeo. I'm Romeo in this story at that point. And then that's when it's like ding dong, and I'm like, who's at the door? And it's always like someone was like, it's me, Mario, and I'm like, who are you, Mario? And they're like, I have papers for you, and I'm like, all right, thank you. And then I come back to my bed, and I'm like, what are these papers? And it's like, it's a check, and I'm like, what type of check? And I'm like, $5,000. When I'm like, well, much to be expected. I've only waited for 8 months. And then I'm like, multiple checks. Well, who is this now? And I'm like, oh, old back payments? Well, thank the universe. How much money do I have now? Well, $12,000. And then that's when it's like, well, I have $12,000 now. And that's when I call my kid Scooby-Doo. And I'm like, hey, kid, do you want to go shopping? And they're like, where to? And I'm like, I don't care, the fucking moon. Because we finally have money. And that's how my life has been ongoing. So it's like, that's how God works. When you're like, when you're up, you're down. When you're down, you're down. When you're not, you're not. When you're on, you're on. At least that's how my life has worked. Bipolarity. I figured out how to navigate it better by now, but, God is funny and a fickle man. But if you learn to fully, faithfully believe in this man, human, woman, God is this. Sobriety, great. Therapy, great. Having children, great. That kick your ass with their parenting of you when your kid is like, excuse you, mother. You are wrong right now, and you're like, I'm gonna leave this house right now, and I am gonna go smoke and walk on the river because you are probably right. I do not want to treat you like my mother treated me, so I'm gonna leave before I escalate this anymore. Good day. Listen to your kids, man. My kid has always been smarter than me. I'm a Nimrod. My kid always been smarter than me. My kid, when I was 18 months, fighting with an asshole that I was renting from, Ben, asshole, nurse. Lothario. Asshole, asshole, asshole with Asperger's. Asshole, assholes. My kid. Autistic. Me. Asperger's. Ben. Asperger's. Lothario. Nurse. House of Autism, right? I'm fighting with this guy, his sister, drunk, on the computer, playing Farmland, whatever. I'm fighting with this guy. My kid takes the binky out of their mouth and goes, time out! To both of us. Time out! Time out! Time out. And I go, you know what? My kid is right. Before I murder you, I'm going to take a time out. My kid is right. Timeouts are for adults too. Timeout is correct. I pick up my kid. I walk downstairs and I was like, you get whatever you want right now, kid. Timeout is right. Timeout is right. What do you want to do? Timeout. Let's go hang out downstairs. Timeout. Timeout is right. Timeout. Let's go hang out. What do you want to do? Read, puzzle, whatever. Timeout. Let's go timeout. Let's timeout. Timeout. That is what I should have done with Ian. I timed out enough with him. He did not know how to time out. Ever. I trained my kid with timeouts. I don't think enough kids are trained with timeouts. I explained to my kid, even when I would get mad, because I get mad. Like, blow your face off your fucking face, mad. Like, I will. I see red. Roller derby red. Break your teeth red. I do martial arts. Kick your teeth out your fucking skull red. So when I say time out, I explained to Max when they would want to come in the room and they had to come in the room. Timeouts are for me too, Max. When I say timeout, I need timeout. Timeouts are for adults as well. If I'm timed out, I'm timed out. I'm autistic. My kid was recently diagnosed autistic. If they need to go into a space and read comic books by themselves, they get their comic book time. But I also know them enough to know if they're having a meltdown moment, they're going to know that they're loved. Enough to know that I'm not going to let them break. They know they're loved. They get their timeouts, but they also know that I'm never going to leave them timed out. They get their space. They get their timeouts. They get their space. They get their timeouts. Enough to know that I'm not going to let them break. They know they're loved. They get their timeouts, but they also know that I'm never going to leave them timed out. They get their space. They get their timeouts. 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 I get my space. I get my timeouts. Autism. They have autism OCD. I have Asperger's OCD. They have autism OCD. I have Asperger's OCD. We both have ADD. I have ADBPD, ADBPD, RAD, radical attachment disorder, RAD, ADD, RAD, ADD, BPD, not bipolar, BPD, which when you add them all together with ADD and PTSD, that equals multiplicity. That's what makes me a great horror director. Yeah. Cute.
Welcome to my shit show. Hi, just up. Welcome to my ship. Hi, how are ya? Hi, how are
Enough, motherfuckers. Enough.
I don't give a fuck. I'm on some paraplegic shit. You feel me? I ain't feeling young. I got no feeling in my legs. Wheelchairs are popping really young. I am really young. 17 and I got funders with their hands up. Talking about a million. But I don't take no handouts off air. You don't need to scratch my face. And that's like getting a front like to mask like a black eye. Waist down. Waist down.
Stop.
What's the problem?
Token, this is one of the stupidest songs I've ever heard in my life.
Why is it stupid?
I mean, the whole idea, like, you don't give a fuck, like, you can't have sex.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not original, that's not cool.
Well, I thought it sounded kind of...
No, like, I mean, it really didn't sound good.
No. Well, I'm sorry.
You know, next time you have me come to the studio, can you at least have some real shit ready for me?
Oh, is that so? The second I start having fun, tokens and ass. Oh, they said I be doing grateful and share. Tommy, always do it's fair. It's not that I don't care, it's here to make a play birds. If I can't hang today, cause my mom depression can't be alone. You taught me not to bite my tongue. You taught me I control my fate. You taught me how to get shit straight. You taught me what is fair. I don't wanna be in this position when I listen, thinking you don't know how good you have it. You can be homeless with no money, with the wind blowing, there's snow coming. You can be like dad, living the same life every day and going home to nobody. At least you got me, huh? At least you got heat, huh? I wanna make it just to make you rich, but a dollar can't sell a pessimist. Look, I wanna be someone that you can speak with, but you always telling me never forget to be a kid, but I can't be a kid when I see you like this. Can't be myself when I see you like this. Old enough to know my just for my parents and parent back. I love you more than you know, but I cannot be the only reason. My role model don't roll down the deep because Tommy taught me not to be afraid of mistakes. Mommy taught me always to follow a dream. Mommy taught me how to deal with the pressure. I still believe it.
Luna.
Used to run to fight the school, look how far I took it.